Okay, welcome to day 124 of trying to become a SOC analyst. We are on LetsDefend, still working through the incident responder alert. So we have SOC303, indirect command execution via forfiles and PowerShell. So let's jump into the alert. I've already assigned it to myself. As we can see here, it's on hostname Sierra. It's an incident responder level. We have the internal 172 IP, and the command has been Windows System32 forfiles.exe. The trigger reason detects the use of forfiles to indirectly execute PowerShell commands, which can be used for downloading and executing scripts. We have a escalation from level 1, and the notes on the escalation are minutes before the alert. I saw that an email from support at CrowdStrike-report.com was received by the user. In the email, a URL was shared with the user to download something onto the system. However, I couldn't establish a connection between the URL and the alert. So let's jump into the alert and see what we can figure out. We do have the endpoint and exchange because it was mentioned that an email was sent. So let's get the logs up and let's also connect to the endpoint. So Sierra. We can spawn the VM. However, a lot of the time we don't actually need to jump onto the VM for these alerts because a lot of the logs are correlated into the log management. So you can see here we've got the event logs from the system. These might be sysmon, or they might be security, or they could be PowerShell. So looking at this, it's script block. So this might actually be PowerShell log. Update.hta scheduled task create Microsoft Edge master. Okay, new files being created. Oh, sorry, process. For files /p Windows PowerShell. Grabbing stager 1 doesn't sound good from GitHub users. Stager 2 from GitHub users, and outputting it to a update.hta file, and that's being run from command. It's the same command. So before we go into this, let's go to LOLBin, or LOLBas, sorry, to look for flies to see how it's used as a LOLBin. Select and execute a command on a file or set of files. This command is useful for batch processing. And then execute a specified command since there is a match for Notepad in the Windows System32 folder. So it spawns Notepad, but then it appends on the end command calculator. So it will spawn Notepad and then it will also pop calculator. I think that's the proof of concept for that. And it says it's a way to evade defensive countermeasures. And it looks like here, use forfiles to start a new process from a binary hidden in an alternative data stream. Okay. So let's keep going through the logs. Actually, a lot of this might actually be logged in the endpoint on the terminal as well. So might be a bit quicker just to scroll through that. So let's go terminal history. And so we do have all these PowerShell commands that have been ran. So get property from the registry key. Registry still. That's the same Windows NT current user. Citrix. So it looks like there's a script that's been ran that's gone through getting all the various registry entries. Software logging. Sentinel-1. Going to our alert, we're looking at July 22, so yeah, okay, it's in the right window. So it's pulled down the stage 1 and stage 2, stage 1 update, okay. Let's defend update.hta. So in this instance, it might be best to just try and get the hash of that file and look it up on VirusTotal. I might just throw that out in a new tab. Okay. Let's jump into PowerShell. Get file hash update. Copy this off here. And let's look up in VirusTotal. Okay, so we're not getting a hit for that. All right, next let's see if we can then go to the email. Then the alert was for host name Sierra. Okay, so this is the email. So it was sent to download this zip. Let's copy that URL, make sure. Yep, that's correct. All right. I actually think any run might be better for this. So we'll go any.run. I haven't been to any run for a while. Are we not we're not able to use it without logging in now? Or maybe I've always been logged in, my cookie expired. All right. So let's put the file in. Oh, we can only use Windows 7. Now I'm not sure this is going to unzip it for us. Okay, the website's down. Access denied. I wonder if I can. Oh, okay. It's because it's actually posted like that. So I'll download it here and upload it. So we'll go new analysis. This one will upload. CS patch. Do we have to set a command? Yeah, let's do file now. Okay, let's try that again. So it's going to unzip it into temp, and then it's going to run the file, I believe. Or maybe we have to run it. Okay, here we go. So it's caused the PowerShell command that we were seeing to be run. That's reached out to GitHub. And there's their encrypted blob. So let's actually grab that. That's running in the background. We'll leave that for now. Let's go to CyberChef. From base 64 and decode text 1200. Okay, so that's the run update, create scheduled task. So we've got that flagged as potentially bad traffic, which we know by looking at it. And did it run anything else after that? Oh, I didn't have to decode it. It's got the command there. Okay. So we do know it's malicious. It's creating a scheduled task. It's going to run the update every 30 minutes. And it's hiding it as MicrosoftEdgeUpdate as the task name. And we haven't seen it reach out to another C2 address, only to the GitHub users. Okay, let's start the playbook. We have a understanding of what's happening a little bit. And let's see if the playbook can help guide us through the rest. So let's jump through the start, just talking about looking at the logs. We know we're on Windows. And saying look at process create. Okay. Determine the type of defense evasion techniques leveraging legitimate features for evasion. So is this the LOLBin aspect using the forfiles? So execution guardrails, indirect command execution. Oh, sorry, I just wanted to click on that's a potential, masquerading, none, subvert trust, system binary, system script proxy execution, trusted developer utilities. Okay, so if we go back to the LOLBin, it's giving us the use case of when it launches Notepad and then pops calculator. That's indirect command execution. And their example down here where it launches Notepad and then indirectly gets evil.exe from another data stream is called NTFS file attributes. Okay, so we're going to go with indirect command execution. Indirect command execution, which is what I had highlighted to start with. So, okay, that was good. Okay, have we encountered any IOCs? Well, strangely, we have not looked at page 2 yet, but we have only seen on the any run it reaching out to GitHub. So let's have a look. In the logs. So that's the GitHub Connect. That's the URL it downloaded it from. So we have that as an IOC. We have the GitHub URL as an IOC. And these are the firewall logs. Okay, so yes, we have. Are they suspicious? Well, let's use the URL as the first example. Sorry, where was it here? Now, I'm not sure this will get flagged because it's hosted with the LetsDefend platform, I believe, because that redirected us to the Cyber Academy. Oh no, so it has been flagged as the silent builder is a dropper and downloader used by a subgroup of Conti. Okay, so it's the Conti malware. So that's our first IOC. And we also have the GitHub repo. So is it suspicious? Yes. Determine the scope. Is it on any other machines? The easiest way we can confirm that is this was the download URL. So let's check if anyone else hit this IP. It's not filtering. Let me reload. Let's try again. So no, only the one endpoint has contacted that IP. So is there more than one affected device? No. Should the device be isolated? Yes. And we need to go to endpoint and contain. Next, lessons learned. Okay, we can start to add artifacts. So we have, in fact, we actually would like to add the URL over the IP. So let's add the URL, and we also had the GitHub repo. So we'll go back to our search. System task, that's going to be close Here it is. So we've got the stage 1 and stage 2. So stage 1, stage 2, URL and URL. And we also had the file that it pulls down, which is the update.hta. And we had the hash of that. We didn't get any hits on it, but we do have it. So that's our hash. And that's our dropper. Okay, in terms of IPs, we haven't had a connection to a C2 address or anything like that yet. Well, I mean, this is the stage 2 here, but in terms of the next stage in the exploit in the kill chain. So for now, we'll just add those. Pause the video and I'll write some notes. Okay, written up some notes. We've mapped it to the MITRE attack techniques. We've got spear phishing, link, malicious file execution, defensive evasion, master, defensive evasion, indirect command execution, ingress tool transfer, and persistence for scheduled task. Okay, the what, when, where, who. What? Indirect command execution via forfiles, LOLBin used to invoke PowerShell. Downloading and executing a two-stage dropper pulled from GitHub. A scheduled task was created for persistence using master to run a HTA payload. When? Got the timestamp of July 22, 2024 at 6 a.m. on the host Sierra, and the IP, the 172.16.17.86, and it ran from users LetsDefend downloads CS patch -19. Who? User phished via email from support@CrowdStrike-report.com. Dropper downloaded from, we've got the AWS download link. Why? Attacker delivered a fake CrowdStrike patch via phishing. The zip contained a command script launching forfiles.exe to proxy PowerShell execution. LOLBin abuse. PowerShell pulled stage 1 and stage 2 from, we've got the GitHub URL, and saved update.hta to documents folder. A scheduled task, MicrosoftEdgeUpdate was the task name, was created to run MSHTA every 30 minutes for persistence. Endpoint contained, no external network connections identified beyond dropper host and GitHub users, confirmed malicious, and escalated as incident. So actually might change that to cleaned up because there's no escalation at this point. So our next step would be we'd go onto the endpoint and we'd need to go into downloads and delete these, but let's not do that for this. Okay, so that's our notes. A follow-up to my reasoning with this is looking at the logs, we saw the initial execution of getting the dropper and then getting stage 1 and stage 2 and then setting up persistence with the scheduled task hidden as MicrosoftEdgeUpdate. We haven't seen any connection to the endpoint from an attacker. There's no external IP connections. So we may have caught, in this scenario, we've caught their alert within the 30 minutes before the scheduled task has fired off and reached out for their remote shell, which we're assuming is the next step, that it's going to be a rev shell. So that's my logic of the kill chain. So let's log our playbook. Close our alert. So it's the true positive. Paste in our notes again. Okay, we're on our streak still. And let's see how we went. All right, so we've broken our losing streak. We got everything correct this time. Let's go through the summary. It was a true positive, yes. Should the device be isolated? Yes. Make sure I did do that. I did. Determine the scope. The scope was was there more than one endpoint affected? We looked at the staging URL and no one else had accessed it, so there was no other devices affected. The reputation check, did we have any IOCs? The answer to that was yes. And were they suspicious or malicious? The answer was yes. Determine the defensive evasion technique, and we were going with inbound. Oh, I've got it listed here. Indirect command execution, sorry. And the operating system type was Windows. So a successful alert, but now that we've finished this alert, we can open up the incident response, the official answer sheet from LetsDefend, and we'll just quickly go through it to make sure we didn't miss anything. So they've looked at their alert, they've looked at the logs, they found the PowerShell, they found the email, and they found the URL. They checked the reputation, which is what we did as well. Okay, they went on to Event Viewer to look at the logs. I pretty much saw those same logs, but in the SEM dashboard. Okay, they opened up the command from the zip. What we did instead was detonate it in any.run, and we can see, we can see the commands that were issued here. We even decoded the blob, even though we didn't need to, and saw the persistence. So I think very similar, just different ways of doing it. Okay, sorry, find. Oh, here it is. Okay. They then looked at the LOLBin. They found the update.hta. We'd found that in the logs as well. They found the scheduled task and what it was called. This was the blob that we decoded from the any run. They did the same thing. They got the blob and decoded it as well, and then decided to contain. So I think pretty much we got everything exactly the same as the official report, so that's fantastic. All right. I think that was a good, successful alert. I feel like we've pretty much got everything correct there. So that will wrap it up for today, and I'll see you on day 125 of trying to become a SOC analyst as we work our way through the rest of these incident responder alerts. Thanks for watching.